Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me on the Give and Go podcast. Hopefully, the rain is finally moving out of here. We got a lot of soccer getting ready to start up. Big event Saturday in Brick, run by Coach Caruso. And that basically starts the preseason, and high school practice will be starting shortly after. So, today we are going to talk about Lacey soccer. I have special guests going to be a senior. 4 years flew by. I got Reece Paget for joining me. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Uh, for whoever doesn't know, Reece is a three-sport athlete. She plays basketball in the winter and does track in the spring. So we'll touch on those sports too, but this will mainly be about soccer. So let's start from the beginning, since yeah, we could preview this season later on. We'll start from the beginning. How old were you when you first started playing soccer?
Well, my mom wanted me to have a soccer ball in my hands all of my life. So when I was first born, I had a soccer ball in my hands in the hospital. But I started playing when I was 5.
Five, and that was just the local rec, I guess, rec Lacey
Yeah, it
kind of.
was Lacey Rec, and then it moved on to Berkeley Rec, where now it's
Or
turned into SGA.
okay, is that what? Okay. What now? We know. I said you play basketball, you do track. Did you always play basketball since you were young too?
Yeah, I started playing basketball at the age of 9, so I started a little late, but that was just like with my rec and local town team. And then I just started playing school basketball. And then during high school is when I started like playing like at a high level, playing AAU and stuff like that.
Now, did you play any other sports when you were younger? Softball or?
No, I actually didn't play any other sports. I tried gymnastics and then learned that I'm not flexible and couldn't do a cartwheel. So that was short-lived. It was probably 2 sessions, then I quit. But other than that, no, just soccer.
Yeah, most of the time, soccer players and basketball usually don't play softball. It's a little too slow for soccer and basketball players because you're not
Yeah.
constantly moving. So,
Yeah.
and did you just decide to do track, as to pick up a spring sport, or was that something you were always interested in doing?
I really liked it at first. Like I liked running distance a lot at first and I did it my first 2 years and then I kind of turned into more of like the jumping side of it and I don't know, I fell in love with it. It was awesome. Like I loved competing, loved working at practices, doing the workouts. Like I had so much fun with it.
So, what events do you do for track?
So my freshman and sophomore year, I started off being like having the 2 mile as my main event and then running the mile and the 4x8. But then as this year fully changed. I was a high jumper, a triple jumper. I did the 400 and the 800. So like I kind of changed like out of the blue from distance to like mid distance and jumping.
Did you find that difficult? Just all of a sudden doing the jumping events?
It started off difficult at first. Like I really didn't practice much. I only kind of jumped at the meets, but like my coach told me I had like long and I was tall enough and I was tall and lanky for it. So like I kind of picked it up pretty quickly. So
Them, watching the track and field events this past week, they are taller, the girls who do the jumping events, so that does make sense. Okay,
yeah.
I learned something there then. Okay, all right. Now back to soccer. Who's your current club team?
So
Or
I actually just changed. I used to play for Lou Santa Cruz at PDA Shore, and
Mhm.
then now I'm up at PDA North because my college coach is like affiliated with PDA North a lot, and he wanted me to like be up there and like so he can see me play and stuff like that.
All right, I know Lou very well. How has he shaped you and helped you along your way?
So Lou was one of like my biggest like help in life as like a soccer player and like a person. Like he got me to like the school I wanted to be at. Like he kind of like made me more of a confident player and like really just like changed like my perspective on how I see the sport. Cause when I first went into him, I wasn't confident at all. Like I just like I was just playing and like I didn't like have like a purpose for playing. And now like after having him as a coach, like I found a purpose and I'm a lot more confident. I'm just an all around like better person and player.
Now, I hear that a lot players that have played for Lou, especially with the college process, and I know how stressful that is. And we'll talk about your future later on, but how much how much did that help, like relieve stress? Lou being hands-on. You said he, helped you get you into the school you wanted to, and you committed to Seton Hall. We'll talk a little bit about Seton Hall later on. But how much
Yeah.
did that help you and help relieve your stress, where you could, focus more on the game than worrying about the recruit and all that?
He really relieved a lot of stress for me actually. So like going into June 15th, like knowing like he wanted a list of schools of where I want to go, like my top like 15 or 20. And he sent emails out to all of them. And like he kind of did a lot of communicating for me. And like if I went to an ID camp, like I would obviously email, but I would tell him and then he would email. He'd be on phone calls every other week with a bunch of different schools, like talking about like for me and my teammates, he did everything he possibly could to get us all committed and all to where we wanted to go.
And you're not the first player, like I said, that has told me that about Lou. And when talking with him, I know he tells me he asks for a list, and from my understanding, he's pretty honest too, right, with the players. If he thinks, hey, you're over, you might not be there, or if this is a good, he thinks that's a good fit. What did he have those conversations with you too?
He like kind of did have those conversations with me, but like I also had those conversations with my mom because she played at a high level in college and she was very like, all right, these are the schools that I think that you can go to. And like obviously I'm going for academics as well. So like I picked out the schools based on like what I had an idea of for major wise. And I kind of just like I just liked where like the certain schools were. And my mom told me like these are like reach schools for you. Like going to Seton Hall, it's like a reach school for me. Like I had to work for it. It just didn't come like this.
Now, you brought up your mom. She's the basketball coach at Lacey too. And first, how is it playing for your mom?
I love playing for my mom. I mean, it does have its up and downs. Like she is very hard on me, but like I love playing for her. Like she's such a great coach and she really just helps our team. Like she kind of turned our team around pretty
Yeah.
much. We had a great last year. Like my junior year was great.
Yeah, your team was definitely, uh, going to your games. You sort of big jump, more competitive in more games, and she does have some funny reactions with you though too. It's not all yelling. She has some funny. But I like
Oh yeah.
watching her. I like watching her on the bench when she's. But her being an athlete herself. Do you try to pick her brain like more like after the game or when you're at home and stuff? And
Yes, 100%. Even after every training session, like I call her and like I tell her how it is. And like after every game, we like have a sit down conversation, just like talk about it, like trying to help me be a better player and like help my team get better. Like we always like we talk about every single game, every single practice. Like we're just like really close like that.
very good. Now, we'll talk about high school. Going into your freshman year, what goals did you set for yourself?
Going into my freshman year, I was really nervous, like playing with like girls that were gonna be like 4 or 5 years older than me. But like my whole goal is to play at the varsity level and get time. Like that was my main goal. And like I wanted to win a sectional championship my freshman year. Like I knew we could. Like our talent was really great coming in, and had a bunch of upperclassmen who were very good as well. So like my two goals were definitely to make varsity as a freshman, get playing time, and hopefully win that sectional title, which we did. So it was a great feeling.
Now, obviously, you going in as a freshman is a little nerve-wracking too. Any upperclassmen you were able to go to, or that kind of helped you and maybe other freshmen?
One definitely, or two definitely stood out. Sophia Reed was a great uppercut. She wasn't a senior at the time I was a freshman, but she was a
Mm.
junior. And like she was like the perfect person to reach out to. Like she would help you anytime you need, give you rides home. Like she was just somebody that you can always talk to about anything. And then the other person was Abby Stevens, and she was like the same exact person. She was a senior when I was a freshman, and it was like the same exact thing. Like I could talk to her about anything. If I needed help with something, even like schoolwork wise too. If I had any questions like about teachers or with that, like I could go to either of them and they would help me in the best they could.
Now, you brought up won the sectional title, won it in a shootout. Does it get any more exciting, winning, you're a freshman, and winning the sectional first as a freshman, and in that manner, winning in a shootout?
Well, I was actually in the shootout too. I ended up taking one of the PKs and like me going in as a freshman, like being almost one of the only freshmen, I think. I think somebody else took one too, but I'm not sure. Being one of the only freshmen taking a PK in that game. It was actually really nerve-wracking, and we were all really scared going in. I mean, we should have won the game in normal regulation. There was a callback that a lot of people did not agree with,
Meh.
but like being in a PK shootout, I was so confident in Lauren, and we were so confident in all of our shooters. Like we knew we had this in the bag. Like
How do you're saying, they scored tying goal late in the game and it didn't cross the line. Obviously, the video showed it didn't cross the line. But how do you stay focused and what did coach tell you girls when regulation ended to try to keep you focused and not and forget about, what just happened on the field with that goal?
so I do remember the one thing that he told us as a freshman. He was like, turn everything off. Don't pay attention to the refs. Don't pay attention to the other players. Don't pay attention to the crowd or anybody who's there. Just focus on you, the ball, and the ball going into the goal. And that's what he told us. And like that just kind of stuck with me. And like me being a freshman taking PK, I was scared. I was like so nervous, but I kept myself calm. Like Brewster was there keeping me calm and like keeping our whole team calm and just like helping us in any way that we needed to.
Now, one other game I want to talk your freshman year was the Clearview game, which was the one right before Mainland. You girls were trailing 2-0 and you scored three unanswered in overtime, and I believe you had a goal in that game. Just talk about what is it about the team that, you're trailing at halftime on the road too, I think you were that, the team just didn't give up and came out in the second half and it just clicked and
Yeah.
girls pulled it out.
Yeah, so we actually did switch our formation during the start of like the States game. I ended up playing in the center back position, and that got us through the first couple games. And then I guess something just happened like with that Clearview game, and it just like wasn't working. So then we ended up switching Marley and I. Marley went back to center back, and I went back to attacking mid in that second half, and it kind of just clicked. Like we were back where we were supposed to be. Everything we were all like praying. And that second half too, like when we found out that if we won this game, we were gonna have a home game for our finals, like that turned us on. Like we wanted to just win. And like having that first home sectional final game in crazy amount of years, like it was just something that we wanted to accomplish. So we worked for each other and got that win.
Now, moving into your sophomore year, coming off a sectional, how disappointing was it? Because you brought a lot of players back that you couldn't repeat.
Yeah.
So,
It was kind of rough the first two games. We lost to Central and we lost to Point Barrow, was it?
yes.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. Point Barrow. It was kind of upsetting knowing that like we had such a great team going in. But I think after those first two games, something just clicked in our head and we were like, all right, we were so good last year. We need to fix what's going on and off the field and just work for each other. And I think we started to pick it up as the season went on and we got better and we gelled more.
Yeah, after the first two games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You went 9-1-1 over the next. So you definitely you picked it up. Now, how beneficial was it? Lauren got hurt either during the season or right before the season started, and
I
I think
think it was during the
it's
season.
during the season. But how beneficial was that you had a freshman goalkeeper that was able to step because not a lot of schools have a backup goalkeeper that could
Yeah.
fill the role. How beneficial was it that Ava was able to do a pretty good job that season, and how much do you think that's going to pay off this year where she's going to be the starting goalie?
She stepped in really great. We had all confidence in her. We knew they were both great goalies. And like it was terrible that Lauren went down because she was our rock. Like she was a great keeper. And but when she got hurt and we knew that Ava was coming up next, we had all the confidence in Ava. She was a great keeper and she really like led us and helped us when Lauren was out.
Going into last season, you're becoming more of a leader, junior. I always like to ask, because what was something you really want to improve on going into your junior year?
Going into my junior year as a team, I wanted to improve on being more like working as a team and getting that chemistry that we all like know we have because we grew up playing with each other and we all just wanted to like push each other for the best. Like we all wanted each other to be like the best we could on the field and off the field. But a goal for me personally going into my junior year, I wanted to be that center mid who can feed off of everybody and like make everybody else better and just like yeah, be a better than I was my sophomore and freshman year. Which it was good for the first like month of the season, and then I got hurt, and then I just really never came back. I got hurt in the Pinelands game.
That's what my next question was because I know you got injured, ankle injury, correct?
Yes, I dislocated my right ankle.
Ooh. Um, you came back at the end. You played at the end of the season too, but you were playing injured, right?
Yes,
Uh,
Mahar really just tried to get me back, and I did as much as I could to try to get back to 100%. I went to PT. I was in the trainers every single day, and like I was probably at like 65% when I came back. I came back when we played against Jackson Memorial right
yes.
before states.
Okay. Um, when are you fully healed now? Because those injuries can nag. So,
I
and
got fully healed like right before basketball season.
right
That's when I
before
started. Like that's when I was like fully good.
little rest time in between
Yeah.
so, soccer and basketball.
Hmm.
Okay. Now this season, um, Marley graduated. I mean, she was injured last year. In your opinion, how much did that affect? 2 years ago you graduate both your outside backs and Riley and Sophia, and then going into the season, Marley gets hurt. So basically, all three of the starting defense from your sophomore year is not there. How much do you think that played a part in losing the first two games because you girls were probably still trying to figure out who could play in each position?
Yeah. So when Marley went down, we were playing on the same team at the time she went down, and I was really nervous, especially going into high school. We didn't know what we wanted to do with our back line. Like we had people that we know could play in the back line. We just didn't know like where to put them. And like definitely the first two games we were trying things out, trying to figure out what that back line is going to be. And then when we found our back line, it helped us. Like we got better and better. Like Lindsay, Danielle, Ava Ford, and Avery
Mhm.
Johnson and Mackie when she played back there once in a while. They did amazing for us. They had so much confidence. They were leaders, like even like the two center backs, they're both sophomores, but they were leaders on the field. And that really helped us like towards like the end of the season. And like going into this season, that's our same goal as our back line. And I think they're just getting stronger and stronger and better in every game.
Now transition into this season. First, what are some team goals you have for this coming season?
So some of our team goals that we have is win the new division for B South, which I think we can generally do. We want to get further into the Shore Conference tournament than we did last year.
Two
And
years
our
in a
goal,
row, man, Alpin,
oh my gosh, yeah,
right?
maybe third time will be a charm this year.
Yeah.
And then that final goal is to just win a state sectional or to win states as we did our freshman year and hopefully move on and be a group state champion.
Okay. What group are you? You're group three?
South Jersey Group 3.
Group three. So you Brick Memorial, right? That's Brick Memorial Central Jersey, I think. Group
Berk
three.
Memorial Central Jersey. We're in the
Yeah.
same group as South. Townsville
Okay.
South.
Okay. All right. So that's now. How about any individual goals?
For me, I
Mm.
definitely want to shoot more and hopefully score some more goals. And I just want to be a better leader than I was last year and be like a good teammate to everybody and just have people feed off of me. Like I want my energy to feed off of everybody else on the field. And I just want to hopefully play myself and get ready for school and like just play me and help everybody in the team.
Now, the experience coming back with you, Natalie and Mac, that's a lot of experience, especially on the offensive end. Just talk about
Yes.
the chemistry with you three.
So everybody tells us that the three of us have some of the best chemistry that we've seen. We have Mackie and Natalie who are goal scorers, and you have me who plays them the ball in order to score. So our chemistry is just really there. And like Natalie and Mackie will take some great corners for us to finish, and Mackie takes some great free kicks, hopefully that I could get my head behind. But like our chemistry is just always there. Like we know like what we want to do with the ball and where they are. We don't even have to be looking at them to know where they're going to run.
What is something you hope to pass down to the underclassmen?
I want to pass down, or something that I would want to pass down to the underclassmen is just kind of like these 4 years fly by. Like it's kind of crazy. Like my senior pictures were today. Like I was just crazy the fact that like I'm gonna be a senior, but like just I want the underclassmen to have fun and just like play the game that they love because some of them aren't going to play in college. And so you just want to live out these 4 years as best as you can and play the best and be the best that you can possibly be. So I want to pass down that leadership and that living life to the fullest.
All right, you ready for some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
All right. What's your favorite TV show?
All American.
Okay. I think you're the first one to say that. It's
Really?
amazing. I get a lot of Grey's Anatomy, a lot. What- How about favorite movie?
Oh my gosh, that's a tough one. Definitely Bends It Like Beckham. That's probably
That's
one of my favorite all
wow. No, nobody said that either. I like that movie.
time.
Favorite school subject?
Definitely either like biology or chemistry. I'm a big science person. Like I love those two classes.
Okay. Favorite food?
That's a tough one. Definitely like fruit. I like any kind of fruit. Like
Oh,
I'm a big fruit person, like pineapple, mango, any kind of
uh,
fruit.
that is the first time I've done over 200 of these. That's the first time I think I've gotten fruit as an answer. What is your go-to song to get you hyped up or focused before a big game?
My go-to song is definitely, oh my gosh, this is a tough one. Probably Famous by Kanye West. I just like our whole team loves that song as like a warm-up song. Like everybody loves that song so much. And it's just like a good warm-up song to get me hyped.
Okay. What is something you enjoy doing when you're not playing soccer or doing sports?
When I'm not playing sports, I love surfing or just like being in the gym and lifting. Like I like the fact of like getting a new PR for being in the gym. And I'm not a great surfer, but I like to just be out in the water and yeah.
I didn't know powerlifting was a thing in high school because I had Gianna on from Donovan Catholic, the softball player, and she's
Yeah.
that they I did that's something new I learned. That's pretty gives the athletes another option. That's pretty cool that some schools have that. Um,
Yeah.
when your playing career is over, do you still want to be involved with soccer, whether coaching or training?
So, yes, I kind of have a small side like training business right now where I train little kids. So I want to keep going on with that. And like after my college career, I still want to try to play overseas and play futsal overseas or maybe try to go into the NWSL or something like that. But if that doesn't end up working out, I definitely want to keep training on the side and maybe hopefully one day having my own club or like or coaching for a club.
Good, good. All right. It's hard for me to do like softball. I come up with questions, game-winning home run or rob a home run. It's hard for me to do that for soccer. So I'll do soccer with basketball. Hit winning a game on a PK or hitting a game-winning three-pointer in basketball at the buzzer.
Definitely hitting a three at the buzzer to win the game. Definitely. I mean, as much as I love soccer, but just that feeling of hitting, even like at a buzzer beater to at a quarter or anything like that, like it just feels so good.
Okay. All right, let's talk. You're committed to Seton Hall. What was it about Seton Hall that, you knew that was your place where you're going to spend the next 4 or 5 years, whatever college is these days?
Yeah, I
Uh,
get that question a lot actually because I committed so early.
Yes, you did.
But I just when I went for my official visit, I just fell in love with the city and I love the coaching staff and all of the players. It just felt like the whole team just felt like family when I met everybody and like coach was so down to earth and everything like that. And I just loved like the campus, being in South Orange, being close to the city but being close to my house. Like it's only like 2 hours. Like
Mhm.
it was the best of both worlds.
My sister went there her freshman year, and I would have to pick her up every Friday when she would want to come home and see the family. It's not a bad drive at all, and it is a nice. I mean, I haven't been up at Seton Hall since she was in college, but it was a nice campus when she was there. So,
Yeah.
What do you plan on studying?
So I have a couple ideas because I really just don't know what I want to do yet. But like I kind of either want to go into like social work or be some sort of like sports physical therapist.
Okay, that's the big field now. That physical sports physical therapy and sports psychology, that's becoming bigger, especially on college
Yeah.
campuses.
That's kind of like the big thing. That's like the end goal. If I went into like social work, like being a sports therapist
Yeah,
is the
that's very big. I know in colleges are making that like a more important major for kids to study. So that's good. All right, here's my last question. What advice would you give your younger self?
some advice that I would give to me is kind of just be more carefree. I was very hard on myself growing up and I was a very try to be a perfectionist. And now that like I look back at it, like I wish I like enjoyed my younger years playing soccer more because it's just like almost over and like my like club years, like going from tournament to tournament and like games are almost over. I would just say to like keep working hard, like it's gonna come. Just don't be so hard on yourself and kind of just like live in the moment.
Okay. Reese, I appreciate you taking time out today. It looks like it's going to rain again. Uh, is Lacey in that event on Saturday at Brick Memorial or no?
So we're actually going to the Capelli tournament.
Capelli?
It's a Saturday and Sunday tournament. We play 2 games each day, so that's what we're doing. We've always
It,
done that, so that's what we're
I
sticking with.
think I remember that. Is that this weekend or is Capelli the following weekend?
It's this weekend.
It is this week. It is usually the same
hmm
weekend. Okay. Well, good luck, and hopefully the team. First of all, hopefully coach. Hopefully the team does good and gels, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how Ava, because I think Ava was my freshman of the year goalie when she was a
Yes, I think I
freshman.
I think she was.
So, and who's in the new division? Because I know all the divisions.
It's
I
like
know
us,
Point
New
Barrow's
Egypt.
out.
Point Barrow's out.
Hmm.
It's us, New Egypt, Tom's River East.
Okay, they're new.
Oh my gosh. I'm like blanking. Oh, no, not Pinelands. They're in Sea South.
Oh yeah,
Barnet, no, not
Barnegat and
Barnegat.
Sea South too. Manchester?
Yeah. Manchester's in our division. Donovan's in our division.
I think that's it. I think that's
And
it.
that's it. It's just
Yeah.
like them five and us.
Is it disappointing that Point Barrow is not in that division anymore? Because I feel like
Us and
it was
Point
always
Borough is always like a battle when we play them. Like it's
eh,
always like that's like I mean Central's obviously our huge rival, but like us and Point Borough, that's like our soccer rival. I feel
I
like
know,
it
especially
kind of
for the
sucks.
division.
Yeah, 100%. It's always us and Central, or not Central. Oh my God, us and Point Borough. But like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed that like we didn't get to move up to A South. Like that's like the end goal. Like there are some great teams in A South. You have
Hmm.
Tom's River North, South. You have like Point Borough, Brick Memorial. Like I just
Jackson
that would have been
Memorial.
like
Yeah.
the end goal to like play in the A South and get to play all those night games.
Yeah, Ace South's the only one who does the night games.
The night games
Uh,
are so fun
yes, because you girls got to play Tom's River North, right, for a pickup game
under the
before
lights.
under the lights. Yeah, I remember that. I think I was driving. I think the game was ending and I was leaving somewhere and I stopped by. And yeah, I love Brook Memorial. Every opening day, Brook Memorial has a home game under the lights. I go to a day game and then, but they're not home the opening week. So
Yeah,
I think he said his first night game is not until like 2 weeks into the season, which is disappointing. But
that
yes, I
sucks.
agree. There's nothing like watching a soccer game under the lights in
A high
September.
school soccer game under the
Yep.
lights.
Yep, in September. So I agree with
Yeah.
you on that. So all right. Well, I wish luck. I do think, you know, I don't know much about New Egypt, but you girls should have, you know, pretty good division season. I would say you guys are probably the front. Well, Tom's River East will be tough too. So I would say
Yeah,
you
it was
go.
probably us and Tom's River East,
Yeah, I think
probably.
you two would be the two teams battling for the top spot in the
Yeah.
division. Last question: were you a fan of the way that they did the short conference tournament
With like
last
the
year?
pods,
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, we had a pretty decent
Yeah.
pod, but like I also just like I felt bad for like playing like Asbury Park and like I felt bad for playing like those kind of teams. Like I wish they just did like how they did for basketball. Like you have like your coach's cup and then you just have your short conference tournament and it's just like broken up like that. But
Mhm.
like I mean, I didn't mind it, but like I kind of wish it was like back of the same like where the coaches tournament can play their coaches tournament and like if you're over
Mhm.
500, you're automatically in the short
I think
conference.
this year they added a team, so like that bottom team probably they got blown out. You usually in each group, the bottom team usually got smoked. I think there was two groups that were tough, where all four teams were pretty tough. but I think they added a team to each group, so that way
Yeah,
that bottom team they'll have one game that's competitive hopefully. But I do
yeah,
understand there was some 8-0 games and 7-0
yeah,
games when the top team was playing. Like you play
yeah.
Lakewood or Asbury or whatever.
Mhm.
So I was just curious
Pinelands. I
because the
think
coach.
Pinelands is in our pod Pinelands is in our pod this year because my mom and aunt are the head and assistant coaches for Pinelands, so I think we play them in our pod this year. I think they're in our pod. Maybe Marlboro is in our pod, and I forget the other two teams.
Yeah, so I mean, I liked it. It was different, but
Hmm.
like they said, they're gonna tweak it every year to get a good. But
Yeah,
I did like that, and I do like the coaches cup that they do for the teams
yeah.
and basketball too. So
Hmm.
I was just curious your opinion because I know the coaches. One coach, I asked the coaches, and it's like 50-50. People like it, people don't like it, but so. All right. Well, Reece, good luck this weekend with the team and good luck this season. And I'll be seeing you on the field very soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you. All right,
Bye.
guys. I'll see everybody, some people Saturday, and then the season is right around the corner. So the preview stuff will be coming out shortly. And have a good day. And hopefully this hurricane clears out of the area soon. Have a good night, everyone.